actually going to start standing today. Now that you got comfortable, I'm so sorry. Standing. We're going to start standing. And actually beginning with the TheraBand. So for those at home who are using this, if your TheraBand isn't long enough to stand on one end and then hold on to the other end of the band and then stretch it up overhead, you can also do this on your knees. So you can have a shorter band, kneel on it, maybe having some cushioning under your knees if you need it, but we are going to work on side bends, so this would also work as an option. If you don't have a band at all at home, maybe get one for future times, and you can do these exercises without a band as well. So anyway, so here we are. I'm kind of go with a diagonal, maybe, so I can see my class too. And so you're just standing with both feet on the band, legs could be maybe 4 inches apart. And then you're taking your elbow into your side, watch the wrist is straight, and the arm is bent. You have a little tension on the strap. You're bringing the hand straight up to the ceiling, so the band is here, like at your waist, at your hip, and then side bend over, let the bottom arm reach for the floor, and then pull yourself up slowly. As you're getting that nice stretch, and then slowly bend the elbow, bring this down. You'll get the screen down this way. You guys did it perfectly. So here we go. So you have your feet grounded. You take your elbow close to your waist. The other hip presses at your side. Lift up. You push your hip out into the band. You want to think of that band like a racing stripe on your body. Reach the lower arm for the floor. And even as you come up, pull down your hip, your waist, your ribs. Close them one by one. And then lower the arm down at your side. We do that again. So you punch up. Maybe the elbow goes a little bit into the band, and then you side bend over. You can stretch your hip out into the band. Really use the feeling of the elasticity of the band to help you increase the elasticity in your body. And then coming up, it is important that your wrist stays straight so you don't put extra tension into the carpal tunnel. And we'll do that one more time. Can you already feel like you're longer on the side that you're stretching? Yeah. Take it up, push it out. Side bend here, reach over. Think of your wrists like open on the top, like a slinky. If you press on one side, the other side opens. And then lift to pull up. And then go ahead and lower the arm with control. Excellent. Now we'll do the other side. Once you're standing still, see if you can just breathe in and out and feel how different you are on the side that you stretched compared to the side that you didn't. The lung on that side should feel much more expansive, able to fill some more capacity. And now we're going to work on the other side. So the wrist is straight. We're going to punch the arm up, push your hip into the band, and side bend over. The inside leg might bend a little bit. So you really get that stretch. And then pull yourself up, hip, waist, ribs close one by one. The arm is still straight, and then slowly bring it down so you work eccentrically against the pull of the strap. And of course, with these TheraBands, right, you can either choke up on them if you want a little bit more resistance, or pay out if you want a little bit more stretch. And again, if you're just joining us, you can always do this series without the band. With head weights would be great. Without weights at all would be fine too. And another option, of course, would be to be on your knees, as long as your knees are healthy and supported, maybe by extra cushioning. Lift to come up. And then we come down slowly, try to resist the pull of the strap. So you're not just letting the strap do the movement for you. That's good. And one more time. Punch up with your straight wrist. Energy out to the head, out to the hand. Dive over. The other arm stretches for the floor. And you can create a little resistance by, with the lift of your torso, keep reaching down with the other hand towards the ground. So you feel more work in your obliques as you rise. And then let's lower that down. You'll do great. All right. Our bodies crave side bending. We hardly ever do it in our normal lives, right? So now we're going to do a big stretch here for the chest and opening the shoulders. So you'll take the band here so that the band falls just below your knees. It'll be about right the band that we have here. And again, you can always stay it out or choke up on the band if you need to. Just face the cross first. So you want to keep your wrist straight again. You can again be apart or 4 inches at your hip socket width. Pull the band open as you bring it forward. Keep the band parallel to the ground. You lift it up to the ceiling. And then reach it behind you, watch your wrist don't bend. And then slide the arms behind you as they lower. Pull the hands in closer to your hips so the band falls in a little loop behind you. If it's too much for your shoulders, pay out the band or maybe try it out. And here we go again. If you feel like you work like getting enough feedback, maybe tighten up. So we push out, the arms are behind you. You lift the band up, forward and around. And then let the arms sink as they come down and fall into each other. You're doing great. Feels good for everyone. Again, watch the wrists are straight. You may want to practice this at home in the mirror too. So here for months how to breathe as we go. For sure. Breathing in special way. I would say it's inhale, exhale, each direction. Okay. So one thing you do have to look out for in this exercise in particular is that when you take the arm up and lift it, it's usually fine. But as you start to bring it back, what a lot of people do is they'll swipe their belly forward so that they're going into a curve, and that can be really compressive on your back. So it's probably a good idea here to start with inhale, exhale, and keep the abdominals engaged. If you're not letting yourself go forward with your stomach at all, as the arm goes behind you, but typically here you're just breathing. Okay. Right, but I do want you to watch you not arching the back, and the arms go behind you. That's a sign that you're just drop the back because your chest is a little too tight there. So we're going to lift and bring it forward again. And here, let me just face the screen so we can see it. I do recommend doing this in front of a mirror so that you can be sure that the band stays parallel to the floor the whole way around. And in that, if you do that, that means that you're actually working equal rotation in both of the shoulder joints. The belly pulls in as you exhale, and it can release as you inhale. We'll do a couple more like this. So pull the band apart. Think of reaching out through your thumb and your index finger, and that usually will help you keep the wrist straight. And then do it again. Feel that this is opening up your chest, giving you some work in your shoulders, in the rotator cuff in particular. We'll do one more. Inhale, lift, stretch it out, circle it back and around. Lower your behind you, so it falls to the ground, and then we pull it open, pull it up, around, and then the center. Great. Now, from here, we're going to use the roller to do a little calf stretch. So you can just hold the roller in front of you. You can also do this like setting it to the wall or with the furniture in front of you. But we got the roller here, so we will do this. So the roller is in front of you, and then you'll just take your right foot back. Bend your left knee, so you're in a lunge position. And you want to slide the back foot back far enough that you go stretching the calf. Your hands are lightly holding the roller, don't let it be your full body support, okay, that's supporting your core. Now from here, wag your tail a little side to side. Yeah, go swing your hips and enjoy it. And feel the stretch go from the lateral calf to the medial calf. Okay. Oh, your back heel must be down. So otherwise you lose a lot of the stretch in that calf. Does that look good for everyone? Nice. And then we can come back to center. Keep that stretch and then slightly bend your right knee forward. Bends a little bit forward and you straighten the leg. And what we're looking for here, the heel stays down. You're just slightly bending it and feeling the stretch go up and down the calf. As you bend straight, if you're not going enough, maybe you need to slightly put back further to feel the stretch there, or bend the front knee forward. So that you do feel the stretch go up and down from the lower calf muscle. The lower, deeper one is the soleus, the higher, more superficial one is your gastrocnemius. So we want to get both of those calf muscles to stretch. So don't bend it straight to your front knee, bend it straight to the back knee. That's going to be it. There you go. If you're good at one, you're right, smile around your shoulders. Great. Switch your legs. The right leg comes forward, the left one goes back, and the degree or the space between the legs may vary. This looks like it very easily be 10 minutes better. Chest point forward, heels are straight back, and you want to be sure your back heel is rounded. And first we did a little swing of the hip side to side. Just enough to feel the stretch, we would cross the back of the calf. And then you can keep your hips quiet still and suddenly bend into your back knee and then straighten it. Keep the lunge with the front leg. And just lay pressure into your roller or whatever you're using, the wall if you're in front of the wall. Great. Good job. And then from here, we put the roller aside and you can grab your ball. This is an option. We're going to do some standing footwork here. We're going to start with the legs in parallel. And you'll take the ball above your ankles, kind of below the swell of the calf muscles here. We got to face the class first and then show the camera. So again, feet are apart about 4 to 5 inches, the width of your hip sockets, which are here. And we're just going to begin, the heels are grounded, and you bend the knees, go low, keeping the heels down. Again, you're going to feel a little stretch in your calf. Your spine is still sort of vertical. And then you push the floor to come up. Now, as you go down, because we're doing knee flexion is linked to hip flexion, so as you go down, maybe you can picture your pelvic diamond opening. And then as you come up, you have less hip flexion, you're going into hip extension to straighten the legs, and the pelvic floor narrows. So this is important because if you're bending in the knees and you're curling the tail forward and gripping, it actually is going to not feel good in your knees. It's not healthy for your knees. So when you go down, you would think about the tail lifting behind you, your systems lifting and spreading. That opens the pelvic floor, and then you push to the ground to come up. You feel that? You can try like a top, like pull the tail under as you bend, and you'll feel that kind of be more compressive in the knee joint. You don't want that at all. So again, as you go down, so you want to have your knees go forward, up directly over the toes, the heels stay grounded, and the tail and the sits bones lift behind you. Exhale, they drop to the ground as you straighten the legs. Very nice. The next part is we're going up into releve, which means you're standing on the balls of your feet. So here it's helpful to bring your arms out to the side as you lift. So find a focal point with your eyes. That's something moving. And then bring the arms out and come up. Squeeze the balls so you feel the work on the inside edges of your legs and your feet. And then exhale, lower down slowly with control. Beautiful. That's really good. And then we lift again. So coming up into releve, we say a ballet. Yeah, go on the balls of your feet. And then bring it down with control. Camera. And come up again. You feel the weight does have to shift forward, but you're still reaching up to your head, out to the arms, and then exhale lower. The arms coming out is sort of like a tightrope walker has that one pull. So you want to use that to help you find your balance. And then bring it on down. It's much easier to do this when you use the ball because this way you're actually engaging into the inside line of your feet. Some people will tend when they lift, they'll roll outwards on their feet and then their ankles kind of flex out to the side. Here we're keeping that inner thigh line and then lowering it down, maintaining that inner thigh line. Perfect. Let's do one more. So we go up. Find the big toe ball of the foot. There it is. And then bring it down. It's hard. I know, right? So now just because we managed to get through that, we're going to add another step to it. So first we do what in ballet they call demi-plie, heels stay down. You bend your knees, the tail goes up, the sits bones going out. And then from here, arms will go out to the side. But just pulling the roller between your hands, and then pick your heels up, punch the knees forward. See this one. And then we're going up to releve. Inner legs, inner thighs, and then lower your heels. And again, so bend the knees forward, squeeze the ball, arms out, punch the knees forward, from the balls of your feet. Lift up, straighten the legs. Exhale and lower. Hey, I fumbled too, right? So this is really hard. We're going into it. It's not about being perfect. It's not feeling the work. It's feeling the connection to the inside line of your leg while you're working your feet. Let's do it one more time. So bend the knees forward, keep the heels grounded. We pull the heels up. We pull the knees forward. We find that inside edge. Lift up, keep your heels off the ground. Good. And then down we go with the straight legs, heels to the floor. Whew, glad that one's done. Now we get to do it in reverse. So here we go. So arms out to the side, I recommend, as you come up to your elbow. Then bend your knees forward. Keep the heels off. Lower the heels down. Then you straighten the legs to the left. And we can do that again. Up, go back. Bounce on the balls of your feet. Bend your knees forward. Pull your heels to the ground. Straighten the legs. Bring your arms to the center. One more. I promise. And we move on. So here, lift. This is a great way to find your alignment, your balance, improve your skills there. Bend the knees forward. Heels still up. Remember, lift the tail behind you. Actually, the curves in your back increase here. And then you sink the heels down. Straighten the legs. Good. You guys are amazing. Great job. All right, so we can put these toys aside and come to our mats to begin hundreds and move through some of the Pilates sequencing. Actually, before I even do that, I did want to share a good neck release with everyone here. So one of my clients taught me this. She got it from her physical therapist, and I feel like it's actually really pretty brilliant. So just sit so you're comfortable. If your hamstrings are tight, you can always elevate and sit up on a yoga block or a book. And what you do first is we're just going to turn your head to one side and look to see how that feels. Now, don't rotate the shoulder or the torso, right? Hold the shoulders parallel to the wall in front of you and turn your head to look and see how far you can see behind you. And then you come on back. We take the arms here, it's kind of like you're holding a baby here in your arms, and we swing 10 times, swinging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, back to center, relax the arms, and then again, turn your head to that same side. Compare both the feeling of ease and the range of mobility that you have here, and then come back to center. What did you think? Feel a difference? Maybe yes, maybe no. Yes, definitely. Some people it's very dramatic. Other people don't notice or don't have a difference. So we'll just try it again to go to the other side. So you turn your head to the side. And then again, just come back to center. You're looking center as you cross the arms and do these very active swings. So it's kind of like drawing a little semicircle here with the cups of the arms. It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and bring it back. And then again, turn your head. And then release. It can be really dramatic, or has been for some of my clients, and hopefully it helps you. I know there's a lot of neck tension, just typically. I don't know, September, the transitional month, always seems like everyone's fitting so much into their days, but sometimes our necks just hold the tension of our lives and close to us all day long. So I hope it helps. And the reason it works is that when you're swinging the arms back and forth, right, you're moving the scapula on your back, and a lot of the neck muscles in the back of the body connect to the shoulder blades. So by moving them, letting them like glide across your ribs back and forth, you're releasing some of these back and neck muscles here. Particularly if you're tight in the chest and the head is forward a lot, those neck muscles just get exhausted. So it just gives them a little massage and a break for their day. Okay, so here we go back into hundreds as promised. So you can take your hands to the back of your thighs as you roll back, or just bring them forward. And then we curl back down, curl the tail up, roll the spine down into the ground, stop at the base of the scapula, and then pull your legs in, squeeze the legs together in tabletop. Your hands to your legs can help you pull a little bit deeper and higher up in the curve. Extend the legs forward to your working level, arms at your sides, start pumping, inhaling and exhaling. We look down at the belly and you watch it Expand as you inhale and sink as you exhale. Your hips close to the side of your body and the legs pressed together. And the edges of your feet together, the knees together if they touch. Now, if this is too much for you, you can always hold the knees in. If it's not enough work for the low abs, you can start to lower the legs out and forward. Just watch that you're feeling the work in the low abs and not in your low back. You're still trying to press your waist into the ground with every single exhale. And every inhale, trying to lift your hip up as you look down your nose at your abs. Keep an active pulse here. You're pushing air into the ceiling and then into the ground. And you lengthen the fingers forward, stretching for the far wall. Option could also be to take one hand behind the head, give yourself a little bit of a break there for your neck, and then switch your hands as you move. We go for one more breath. Exhale completely, as much air out of the lungs as possible. Pull the knees in, lay your head down, hug the knees into your body to maybe stretch out your low back a little bit, and then lower your feet, knees bent, arms open, to rock from side to side, turn your head in the opposite direction from the knees. Get a little bit of rotation here through your waist. All right, and now we're going into roll up. So you can use a TheraBand if you wish around your feet, holding onto it with your hands. Otherwise, just extend the legs forward. And lift your arms up towards the ceiling. As you hold your right page here on the ground, take the arms back without increasing the arch in your spine. So you have to use your abdominals to kind of hold the body steady. And then we bring the arms up, start lifting the head, chin to chest. Exhale, pull yourself up, dive over, your waist pulls back, your head goes forward. Good, and you can bend your knees a little bit if the hamstrings are tight to really pull the head and hands forward here over your legs. Now to go back, really reach forward with your feet, tuck the tail up, and curl on back. So the arms lower makes it easier for control. The arms higher is a little bit more of a challenge. And then for guys, remember, that was good. You might also want to think about using ankle weights, whether you're male or female, if you're having trouble keeping your feet grounded. Normally, we don't think about people being able to keep their heels down on this lift until they hit an intermediate level in Pilates. So dive over, stretch, but a lot depends also on your body proportions. And then we're going forward with the heels, curl the tail up to the legs. The arms higher gives you more challenge, but you have to be sure that you are not falling into the ground. If you're working into the ground, really go with your spinal positioning here. And then reach the arms behind you. Again, hold the rib cage a little bit rounded. Don't let your waist lift higher than it normally would here. And then we come up again. Exhale, pull yourself up. Now, as you're driving forward, think of the collarbones just a little wide so the shoulders slide behind you. No shoulder earmuffs here. Not the season. And then we bring the legs forward as you roll back. Hopefully you're feeling the stretch and then also the massage you can get here as you place the vertebrae down one after another, imprinting your spine into the middle of the mat. We'll go for just one last one. Try to make it your best. Enjoy it. So lift the arms, lift the head, exhale to pick up the ribs. Keep the exhale going, going, going. Of course, if you run out of breath, it's better to breathe than not to breathe. Take a deep dive forward, your body in the C shape, like a horseshoe on its side. Enjoy the stretch in the back of the legs, and then we're going all the way back down. Push the legs away. Place your spine down one vertebra at a time. Go all the way down, and then you can just circle the arms around at your side. Hopefully that felt great for you. Now we're going to grab your TheraBand and just take it by your side. First, bring your right knee into your chest, hug it in tight. And we'll just do a couple little knee stirs here, circling the knee to move the thigh bone on the hip socket, and then reverse the circle's direction. This will give you a little massage into the glute on the mat. And then let's switch the legs, pull the left leg in, the right leg is forward. And then start the circles here. And then go ahead, reverse the direction of your circles. The weight shift may let you be aware that you're shifting the weight a little bit across the sacrum. And now let's stretch that leg forward. This should already feel a little looser after just that simple stretch and movement pattern. So now let's pull the right leg in, take the TheraBand around the foot. The band goes on the ball of the foot and the arch, the toes are free. And then we lift the leg up to the ceiling and pull the elbows down in by your waist. Stretch the leg as high as you can. Ideally, we'd like it vertical, and if that means that the knee is slightly bent, that's great. If you can straighten the leg, please do that. And then just do a point and flex of the foot, elbow toe. When the heel goes up, sink down through the glute. And then we end with a soft point, and we circle the leg. Inhale across the body, exhale low, out to the side, and then all the way up to the ceiling at the end of the exhale. So inhale, reach the leg without lifting the right hip. The left hip is down as the right leg moves to the right. So you're trying to stretch into the space around you with the foot supported by the strap, but still maintain stability of the pelvic girdle on the mat. That's going to require some work from your core, right? So you're going to press into the right arm, the right hip as the leg goes left, and then press anything that's on the ground on the left side of your body, sink it into the floor when the leg moves right. One more. Short inhale and a long exhale will also engage the abdominal wall on that long exhale. Pause at the top, reverse. Out to the side, exhale, rotate. Reach away from center and exhale, pull the leg low, across the body and up to the sky. Now, of course, if your hamstrings are tight and you bring the leg more vertical, bend the knee slightly, but only as much as you still feel the stretch in the back of the leg and the hamstring. So you stretch out and around, keeping the elbows grounded. Your gaze should be up at the ceiling, and the hands sort of follow the path of the leg. So hopefully the forearms are sort of perpendicular to the leg, no matter where it is in the movement. Let's go for one last one. Reach out a little further, make your left side a little heavier. Now the right side is heavy, so let's sweep to the left, come to the top, and maybe give it a little extra stretch. And now we'll take both ends of the band in the right hand. If you need extra support, the left hand can assist. You lower the leg out to the right, actually rotating it, and keep the left hip down. Leave your left hand on the hip bone to keep the pelvis level. Rock that right leg a little towards your shoulder and away. Then we'll exhale, bring the leg up to the ceiling, switch hands. You can extend the right arm out on the floor, palm up, fingers long, and then bring the leg across the body, lifting the hip, keeping, however, the shoulder blade and the top of the shoulder grounded on that right side. Now, pull the leg a little closer to the shoulder and then rotate the leg a little more internally, and you'll increase the stretch in the glute. Also in the outer hip. And then pull the hip down, lifting the leg up. Reach it high. Take an extra little stretch here. Wherever feels safe and healthy. We don't want to overstrain the back of the knee or the sit bone. And then pull the leg in, hold it tight, hug it in, the band comes off. And then stretch that leg next to the other one. You want a moment of comparison to sort of understand and acknowledge what just happened here. So feel the difference in the two sides, not only the leg, but also the torso. It may feel like it's really dropped. The right leg may have externally rotated a bit more. You might even feel like they're more connected to the right rib cage here on the ground. And definitely the foot has a little bit more length across the top of the ankle. So all that is great. Hopefully you can feel that as well as the length and energy in that leg. And now we're pulling the left knee in. Embrace it in, and then we'll place the band on that foot so we can even out the body right to left. So center the band on the ball of the foot, and then you push the leg up to the ceiling. You can pull it back a little bit to get the stretch you want, but still keep the knee safe. Slight bend in the knee is necessary. Drop down through your sits bone on the left. And actually, you do want to keep that left waist long too. Often when you pull a knee in, you hip height. So just be sure your waist is equally long on the left and the right. Now just point and flex the foot a couple of times. This little series takes a fair bit of time, but it's really essential considering how much most of us sit. Or even if you're walking a lot, that'll tighten up your legs. Running will do the same. So it's almost as if the legs just always need help here. So let's give it to them now. And then self-point, and you can lower the legs slightly to begin your circle. So the left leg goes across to the right side, and then you push forward and down, rotate it externally, hold the pelvis grounded here. Picture the inside of the pelvic girdle filled with wet sand or concrete so that you're weighted there and heavy, while the leg stretches and reaches up and away. You're drawing a beautiful circle here in the air with the soft point of your foot. And at the same time, think of the leg getting longer with every single repetition. So the circle that you're drawing in the air circles out and away, further and further with every rep. Short inhale, deep long exhale. We'll come to the top here, the pelvis still grounded, and reverse out to the side. Hold the right side heavy, push it forward and around, internally rotate as it comes across, lift it up. The top of the movement is the end of the exhale. So the shorter your inhale is and the longer the exhale is, the more you're going to feel the abdominal contraction at the top of the movement. And that's great. We want to strengthen those deepest abdominal muscles by really having a long full exhale and feel sort of that knitting together, that inner corset at the top of the movement. One more here. Short, deep inhale, long, slow exhale, all the way around and then up to the top. And then we hold the band with the left hand, the right hand if you need extra support. And then we hold the right hip grounded as the leg goes out to the side, externally rotated. And then rock the leg a little bit towards your shoulder and away, with a gentle stretch in the upper inner thigh and also across the front of the pelvic girdle. And now exhale, we pick the leg up, use the upper inner thigh to move it, switch your hands, right hand now holds the strap, we extend the left arm, look at it, and as we bring the leg out to the far wall, we're bringing our hips sort of parallel to the wall, the chest is still parallel to the ceiling. Only go as deep into the twist if it feels good in your back, but you could also do the stretch with the hip grounded. And then the leg rotates a little internally, you rock it back and forth, towards the shoulder and away. And then let's pull the hip down to lift the leg up. Get a final stretch here to the back of the leg, and then pull the knee in. Embrace it to your body, the bend goes away. You hug it in, and then release the leg forward. Check out the legs at the moment, double check their alignment, and then just enjoy the feeling of release in both of your hips and the length of both of your legs. Hopefully we balanced you out. So here, let's pull the right knee in, and we'll rock forward and up to rolling like a ball. The left leg lifts to the sky. Lift your head, neck, and chest, back forward, rolling up to your balance point through the front third of your mat. Be sure you have enough padding here underneath you. If it aggravates your back, get another pad or a towel under you also. So we lift the feet, the edges of the feet are together, the elbows are wide, and you're looking down into your deep belly as you widen the elbows and bring them forward to let your ribs sink back. Lift the tail to roll your shoulder blades only. Exhale, come right back up to your balance point. Let it breathe into your back and really curve back like you are the ball, rolling down the mat and then back up the mat. As soon as the tip of your blades touch, start your exhale. So you're exhaling as you continue to go back just a little bit, change direction, and the exhale will bring you all the way forward. These look great. Do it again. Keep your gaze fixed on your navel, no matter where you are in the movement. And just one more like this. Expand the back with your breath. Exhale to dive forward to your balance point. Now we move to the abs here. So the right hand goes on the right shin above the ankle. The left hand goes on the right shin below the knee, and the elbows are wide. And push the leg up into your hand. Reach both legs away from you as you curl your spine back into your upper up curl. The right shin is parallel to the ground and the elbows are wide and lifted. Inhale, switch the legs. You pull one leg in tight and the other one reaches out long. And again, to switch here and switch again. That's it. You stay in that deep upper arm curl and you use your connection of your hand to the leg to press down with the hands up with the shin to hold you up in the upper arm curl and have you feel connected to your core, to the abdominals and to your breath. We're going to end with the left leg in. Exhale, pull the right leg in to meet it and squeeze the legs together. Inhale, arms and legs reach to the ceiling. Circle the arms wide as you exhale and pull the legs into your body. Embrace them in. Inhale, you stretch, and the legs can open forward, the arms can reach back, circle in. So the angle that you choose, you must still be able to maintain your upper curl and not flatten your spine. So if you discover that your head is close to the ground as you stretch, narrow everything in, bring your legs more vertically. Pull it in here, we'll do one more. Reach out for long through fingers and toes, pull everything in. Rest your head down, lower your feet, and now take the feet apart to the width of your mat. So we'll take both knees over to the right, look to the left. Now here what you're feeling is you're really finding external rotation in the right leg and internal rotation in the left. Come back to center, and then we change it. We take both legs to the left. So now you get the external rotation in the left leg and the internal rotation in the right. You might get a stretch into your quad by doing this, and then lift and take it over. Your open out to the side may help you open your chest also. Come back to center, and let's narrow the legs in, pull both knees in, rock forward and up, use your core, use your breath to come up to sitting. And then we're rolling back into the scissors exercise, the third in the ab series. So we lift the tail and curve your way down, sink yourself down, your hands can slide along your legs, and then once you're in the upper curl, pull the knees in, extend both legs up, hold high on the right leg, half or ankle or even foot, and start to left leg out. And you stay in your upper curl, looking right down your midline, inhale to switch, exhale to switch. If your hamstrings are tight, just bend the knee when it comes in and straighten it as it goes out. Good. You never look up at your knee, you never look up at your toes. You look right down your midline towards the navel. And just focus on keeping the upper curl and the length increasing in the back of your legs here. We'll do one more set. And with the left leg lifted, bring both legs up, support your head with your hands. Squeeze the legs together. Then we do a double leg lower lift. So the legs reach out and away. Be quite cautious here, right? Because you're going to feel the weight of the legs is going to make your back arch. We don't want to go there. We want to lift it. When you feel maximum contraction in the low abdominals, while you're working to keep the pelvis level. So you stretch out and away. Exhale, scoop the belly down, drag the legs up slowly. We're working at this slow pace. You're not just letting momentum throw your legs to the floor and back up again. Two more like this. Keep pulling the head higher. Don't lay back onto the top of your shoulders. Come up a little deeper. There it is. I knew you had it. And then exhale to lift. Of course, it's also a good reminder for me when I ask someone else to do it. And then lift to come up. And then pull the knees in. Embrace it in. And we're going to do a variation on the elbow to knee, the fifth in the series here, using the ball. So we'll take the ball and let's come up to sitting. Hold the ball here in your hands and we'll roll back to your upper curl. Now pull your right knee in, take the ball low by your right hip, twist to the right, lift the left leg up in the air and switch to the left. Now as you switch the legs, you're going to bring the ball over the knees to the other side. Look down at the ball, keep it long and low, close to your body. And we switch the legs, spiral, and spiral again. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other. Going across the scapula. Good, feeling that lift as well as the rotation. One more set. The legs shoot straight out of the socket, and then we pull everything in to lay it down, ball to the side. And we can roll up now to sitting. You can take both legs in or one at a time, and then lift to come up. Extend the legs for spine stretch. Again, if you're tight in your back line, hamstrings and or low back, elevate your hips. And we can start with the arms extended forward, parallel to the ground. Press lightly down with the arms and lift the chest. Look down your nose, then let the head reach out over and down, pulling the neck forward, from the upper back, the mid back, the low back. You dive over your legs, you stretch here. Press down through your tail and your sits bones, your heels, and you stack your spine bottom to top, coming up. And then we look down again, exhale all the way over. Like you're peeling your back away from a wall and you dive forward, out and arc, out and down, and then suck your waist back and more curve in the low back as you go lower and closer to the ground. Press down through your legs and then sink your tail. Zip your back up that imaginary wall. Collarbones open so the shoulders fall behind you. Good. And then look down again once more. Exhale all the way out, over and down. Hold onto your legs wherever you can. Maybe push forward with your heels, pull back with your waist. Just feel that stretch. And now we're coming forward on the mat. We're open balance and then rocker. Easiest to hold your hands to your thighs. More difficult, hands between the legs and holds the top of the ankles. So we begin balancing here on your sacrum, so you're kind of behind your sits bones, the tail curling up in a pelvic tuck. And then we extend the right leg up. Also hands behind the thighs, easier if you're tight here. And then exhale, pull the heel back down, heels connect, the kiss. And the left leg goes up. And then you pull it back down, that's good. And now for the right. Again, remember, hands behind the legs. If you're doing that, really pull the head back into the thigh and then push the thigh out into the leg. So you are firming up the arms and you're firming up your core. Right, you felt that, that's good. And then the left leg, again, I'm finding that resistance by creating that pressure, hand to leg, leg to hand, and then pull everything back. Now both legs go up in a narrow V. You hold your balance point, and then you pull it back. And of course, you can also do this with your hands on the shins to lift up. I find that my hands rotate a little bit to the outer leg if I'm doing my hands by the ankle. And then when I fold, they kind of rotate in. Now we're going up, and you're going to hold the legs in the air and roll. This open leg rocker. So again, your hands can be on your thighs. You look down, you curl the tail up, increasing the rounding of your back. Inhale, lift the tail, go to your shoulder blades. Exhale, forward and up to your balance point. And then lift the tail, roll back here. Exhale forward, like so. Couple more, try to draw a straight line down the middle of the mat and come right back up. If you can stay centered on the mat, it's showing you that you're working your right and left side equally, and that's important for alignment and equal development in your body, right to left. One more. Tip the tail in the air, head off the ground, come up, and then we can close the legs, bend the knees, feet are grounded, and then do a roll back. Maybe down the legs or free in the air. And then once we're down, grab your fair bend, and we're going to place that around the soles of both feet for corkscrew. So the bend is around the ball of the foot and the arch. Elbows are grounded. Lift the legs up to the ceiling. We'd like the feet to be right over the pelvic floor. If the knees need to be bent because the back line of your body is tight, do that. Now soft point through your feet, and we're drawing circles in the air, keeping the pelvis grounded. So we take the legs over to the right, pressing down through the left hip, and then circle forward and around. Now hold the right side down, so legs circle to the left and come back up to the ceiling. Feel the stretch in the back of your legs. And now the legs go to the left, the right side is heavy. And then you circle forward and around. Exhale all the way around and back up to the top. So each circle is one breath, and inhale to one side and exhale to the other. Complete at the top at the end of the exhale. And then the arms are also helping you brace the upper body here. Keep the upper arms grounded here at your side. And we just breathe here. See if you can maybe feel how you're changing the weight around your circle, giving yourself a little pressure around the SI joints as you circle the legs here. And we'll do one more set. Short inhale, long exhale. Keep reaching up to the ceiling. Even if your knees are bent in, it's still fine. You're still moving the thighs to move the legs in a circle. And then we'll pull the knees into your chest band off to the side and come up to sitting for your soft. So run forward, up, open the legs out, Elevate your hips on blocks if that's a little easier for you to handle movement. And even if you're only slightly tight, sometimes that's really helpful because you'll really get more mobility out of your spine. You'll feel a lot better in your body and you'll be more productive. So we're gonna lift up, almost arching the back as you sit high on your sits bones, arms out to the side and the hands a little in front of the collarbones. So don't push them back because typically when we do that, then the back arches and you're not in your neutral spine. So here we rotate to your right, or your left hand to the outside of the leg and then dive over the back arm reaches up and back behind you onto the ceiling. And we stretch from one set of fingertips to the other. Pull yourself up, holding the rotation, and then unwind, and then spin to your left. The right arm crosses. It can be on any part of the leg, from the thigh to the foot. And then we spin here, twisting and looking back behind you for your backhand. You might not see it, don't worry, just keep looking for it. It's still there. Come up, center here. And now we twist to the right. Dive and stretch. Again, if you're tight, bend the knees. A little bit more as you dive over, as long as you still feel the stretch. That's all we need. You have to come up. I've worked with people who really benefit from doing this in a chair sitting. So they get the mobility in their spine, well, they're not restricted by the hamstring tightness that they have. We'll lift to come up, center, and then go again. On the other hand, if you do it a little lower to the ground, and you feel more stretch in the hamstring, that can benefit each step. So come up, inhale tall through center each time, exhale, twist, dive, and pump the air out of your lungs. Now you also want to think the back arm and shoulder still wants to rotate. So try to pull your back shoulder around towards the opposite one behind you, and then lift to come up, get as much rotation in your body as you can, and then lower the arms. We close the legs, and we're going to lay on our stomach here for swan, using the roller today for a little extra. Bring the roller across the mat in front of you. And then we'll extend the arms forward. The forearm is on top of the roller, so the roller is halfway between your wrist and your elbow. And your legs reach out behind you. A little easier for your back if the legs are apart as you twist. And then bring your head down, keeping it off the ground, but keeping your ears between your arms. We start by pulling the head forward, the chest forward, and the blades down your back. You scoop on up, lifting the eyes, lifting the heart, bending the upper back, and feeling the stretch in the abs. And then you slowly release your belly to the ground, keep looking up until your gaze lowers to the level of the roller, and then look down at the ground. Faces off the floor. Pull the collarbones wide. You'll feel the blades slide down your back, or engaging your lats. Pull forward and up with the chest. Come up, up, up. So the front of the pelvis is pushing into the ground here. You lift up, feel the work into your triceps, and then release yourself down. Very good. Push the roller away as you lengthen your spine forward and down. Release to the ground. One more. So you pull the halo forward, the heart forward, just sweeping the gaze across the floor, up the wall, up towards the ceiling. You lift the eyes to lift the heart, to lift the chest, and stretch the abdominal line, and then bring it back down. Like someone's taking the roller to your back and then rolling you out here, flat as a pancake on the floor. Good. Take your hands by your side, push up and sit back in a child's pose. Round your back, curve it. An option for this, if your knees are tight, would be to lay on your back and pull your knees into your chest. Now we're going to slide forward again for single leg kick. So just push the roller aside, out of your way. Look a little more forward so you can see my feet. 2 here. Okay, so we're propped up on your elbows for your single leg kick. You can have your palms down or make fists and have the edges of your hands into the ground. But push firmly down with your arms, pull up at the chest and up at the eyes, and stretch your abs as you pull your heart forward. Then we kick the right heel in twice. Pump 1, 2, and then lay it down. Now the left, pulse 1, 2, and lay it down. You should probably feel a stretch in your quad with every pulse. You're working the hamstring as you pull the leg in. However, when you pump, you want to be sure that the pelvis stays grounded and level so you're not bouncing here for your upper body. The arms stay engaged. You're pushing actively down. Watch your legs are in parallel and not out to the side. Good. Good, another set. Inhale, double beat. You press the top of the foot into the floor. Left side, one more set. Don't collapse the chest, looking up, keep pulling forward, right. And then we're going to lay ourselves down on our stomach and turn your head to the right. Your head is overlap on your back, up on the rib cage. And then just drop the elbows towards the floor. Take an inhale to lengthen your body. As you exhale, kick both legs 3 times into your butt. Simultaneously, so it's 1, 2, 3. You press your shins into the floor. You reach your arms back. You lift your chest up into a swan or a cobra. And then you come down to look to the left. Hands overlap, elbows fall. 3 beats. Pulse 1, pulse 2, pulse 3. Once the feet are down, you can even intertwine the thumbs, reach back, pull the upper arms around the rib cage to squeeze the back ribs together and open the front ribs. Come down, look to your right. Elbows fall, 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. Feet are grounded. We lift the chest. The feet stay low. And then down again, look left. Aren't you glad we practiced releasing the neck earlier? And then pump 1, 2, 3 here. Feet to the ground. Reach the arms back. Lift the heart, lift the eyes. And down we go. Push off the floor, back into your child's pose again. Ground your spine after being in extension. Let the head fall down between your knees. Breathe into your back. And then we'll stack the spine from the bottom to the top. And we move into our shoulder bridge. So here, sometimes people's hamstrings will cramp. So it can be very useful to take a ball between your thighs, above the knees, below the pelvis, and then hug it in gently. We'll go ahead and roll back to lay on your back. And then the feet are closed, maybe 8 inches or so from your sits bones. Feet apart, maybe 4 inches wide on the mat. And then begin by lengthening the arms forward to move the shoulders away from your ears. We begin with a pelvic tuck. So you curve the tail up, your waist presses down. And then the tailbone lifts, pushing forward and out. The knees of the tail move forward to the wall in front of you. And you're going to lift your hips up until your hips are open and you feel that work in your glutes supporting your hips in the air. Now we're going to roll it down. So roll to the inner arm, widen your back, and curve your upper back into the mat. So we go down one rib after another, one vertebra after another, get down to the waist and down to the sacrum, let the tail drop, and you'll feel the waist lift off the ground. And again, we're going to go a little higher this time into thoracic extension. So the feet press down and pull back, so you activate the back line of your legs. Curl the tail forward, pull the knees forward like they're being drawn by magnets to the far wall, come up with your hips. Now here, roll to the outer arms, push the top of the shoulders into the ground, and pick up your chest, lift your heart high, so you're in a little upper back extension here, and then boost the butt up higher using your glutes to open your hips to the sky. And now to come out of it, we roll to the inner arm, feel how your blades move sideways away from the spine, and you can feel the upper back, the ribs, sink down between the scapula. Shoulder blades come all the way down to your waist, to your hips, to your sacrum, to your tail, and let's do that one more. You have to navigate the S curves of your spine, trying to press every vertebra one by one into the ground as you lift up with the pelvis and push the knees and the hips forward. You feel that stretch in the sideline of your body, and then you push down to feel the work in the back of your body. So again, you press the upper arms, the outer arms, the top of the shoulders, lift the chest. So look up and maybe slightly back, keep your throat long so you can breathe. And then boost the butt up a little higher. Use those glutes to open your hips. Keep hugging the ball. Now we roll to the inner arm, widen the shoulder blades, curve your back down into the ground. Come all the way back down, 1 inch one vertebra after the next. The chest settles at the end. Good, you can take the ball out. And we're coming up to sitting for spine twist. So pull one leg in, pull forward and up. So you can see with each class we're getting more in because you all are more familiar with the basics of the exercises. Flex the feet, elevate your hips if you're doing that, and sit vertically up on your sits bones. The arms extend out, slightly forward of your collarbones, and then lightly press the arms down to go taller through center. Rotate to the right and we twist 3 times. Pulse 1, 2, 3. Lift to center and then spin to the left. Pulse 1, 2, 3. Back to center and to the right. Bring out your waist, bring out your lungs, and center here. Ideally, legs are zippered together all the way to the big toes. And you're not moving your feet, which are pressed against the wall. So that with the rotation of your body, you're not shifting the pelvis, so one leg moves forward and one leg moves back. Come center again, 1 more set. And last time to the left. Every time you come back to center, think of growing a little bit taller, and then let's lower the arms down. Okay, good. Just slide your hands down your legs. If you're sitting elevated, do that here. And just take a nice stretch forwards, pull your waist back. Release the low back here. Let the head hang. Stretch your back. We're going to end with an exercise called seal. So it's another rolling exercise. You come forward again to sit near the front third of your mat. And here, you bring your hands between your legs, wrap your hands around the outside of the ankles, and then curl the tail up or back to balance on your sacrum. So now we open and close the legs. Exhale, clap 1, 2, 3. Legs are together, feet are together, knees are apart as we roll back. And we're going to try to clap 1 to 3 times with the butt in the air. So roll back, lift your tail in the air. 1, 2, 3. Come forward and up. 1, 2, 3. Now seriously, it took me like 5 years to get to 3 claps. So if you go back and you can keep your head off the ground and just clap once, that is amazing. Good work, and take it from there. So we're going to roll back. Clap 1 to 3 times, come up, and then here, really clap 3 times in your balance. And when you're clapping your legs, be sure you're not just opening and closing the feet, but you're actually opening and closing the thighs, right? Get more mobility in the hips. And after we clap, 1, 2, 3, roll. You press the arms and the legs and the arms, clap, and then come back. Now, what finally helped me learn to do this was once I was back on my shoulders, I thought I should be able to stall while I'm up there. So when you're on your shoulder blades, still head off the ground, right, like all the rolling exercises, think of lifting your tail a little bit higher. So it's like you come slightly out of the curve, and that suspends you for a moment, and then you're back into your rolling position. Maybe give it a thought. Until I thought of that, I couldn't do this at all. So open and close. Some people do rolling perfectly the first time they try it. So that wasn't me. And then forward to come up. And then we can lower our feet, and we are good for today. Maybe just hold the soles of your feet together and take a stretch here. Sorry, I needed to do it, so you're doing it now too. And then you can stack your spines up. Good work, everyone. Thank you for doing class. You as well. And if you can make it to the Matchbox to do class with us, that would be great. Otherwise, enjoy these videos or your time here on Zoom. And I look forward to seeing everyone next week. Take care.